to the Eastern Cape. We take a look at the state of readiness for schools in that province following reports that many of them are not yet ready to welcome pupils as they are yet to receive learning and teaching support material. We're joined by Loyiso Mbinda, Eastern Cape Secretary, National Professional Teachers Organization of South Africa, for the latest on this matter. Thank you, sir, for your patience with us and for your time this afternoon. As you understand the situation, what is it looking like today?
Thank you, Madam. As I'm looking to the east of the Eastern Cape today, we are almost far from being ready for the 19th when learners are coming to school. The reason why, there are a lot of things that needs to be addressed, which were supposed to have been addressed before the end of 2021. But remain unaddressed by our province. The payment of educator assistance as part of the Presidential Youth Initiative program, as well as the general support school assistance, which were not yet, were not paid up until the end of the year. Some of them were paid last week. Some were not yet paid, because the province changed the system it intended to use. Initially, the Department of Education was going to pay directly these young ones to their bank accounts, but all of a sudden, by the 24th of December, it became clear that that program could not materialize. And as such, there was a change of an approach, which caused school principals to come back from holidays. Those were not afar from their homes, and work tirelessly to ensure that these young ones are being paid. But unfortunately, some of them, their money were not deposited to their various schools. In some schools, they are in receipt of 2 months payment for November and December. In other schools, they are in receipt of 3 months, November, December, January. Others for 4 months up to February. Others received only for 1 month, and others received for 1 month for fewer number of these young ones. For example, there was a school that is having 18 young people that are working there, but the money that was deposited was for 1 month. That can only accommodate 7 of the 18.
These non-payments of these people who have been brought on board to help, I do beg your pardon for interjecting there, is it people that are needed for the 2022 academic calendar? And if so, does it mean that they will not be going back to work?
No, they've gone back. They are going to go back to work, despite that they have not even been paid for November, December, because these are there for a contract that starts in November and end up in March as education assistants.
Right. We understand that to compound that problem, learners face the possibility of having to buy their own school material in the form of textbooks and stationery. Do you know anything about this?
Yes, I'm aware of that. There is a memo to that effect that requests that the learners must make use of last year's stationery in the interim, because the department shall only be able to deliver the earliest possible from the 25th. And you must remember that Eastern Cape, the purchase of LTSM is centralized. It is done by department on behalf of the schools. Schools are not given their allocation in terms of norms and standards for school funding to do that on their own. And as such, the department did the procurement on the last hour, that's a week or two before school closure in December. Hence, delivery is becoming now a problem. They are unable to deliver in advance. And to call for school to use last year's stationery, the last year's stationery schools were forced and bound to top up because that stationery was not enough in size, and the sizes of the books that were used were small books which were finished before the end of the year. Then to call for them to use last year's stationery is the question of us shifting the blame by the department to school principals as if they are the ones who have not done the good work, whereas principals have done their part better work.
The Eastern Cape has been known for a number of years to struggle with infrastructure where schools are concerned, with some learners having to learn under trees, never mind walk for miles on end to reach these schools. What can you tell us about the state of infrastructure, especially following the heavy rains in that province, and the state of readiness for schools reopening?
Well, we have not received such a report. I know of only one school that experienced that last year in December, but a school wrote a letter to the department and there is a response that there's somebody who has been assigned to quickly fix the school. But we haven't heard of any number of schools that have been affected by disaster over the holiday. But also we're still awaiting for more reports from our members in schools, as schools are kickstarting today.
Are there any other issues Thank you, sir. Are there any other issues that you are concerned about ahead of reopening on the 19th?
Yes, another issue is that in terms of the norms and standards for school funding, schools are given money in two tranches, the first tranche and the second tranche. In the Eastern Cape, the finishing of schools with their second tranche is a quagmire. Schools have not received the amount that they are supposed to get. Instead, they have received an amount that is far lesser than what they are expecting. And as a result, some of the schools are cash-strapped. They are unable to pay even their own service providers in terms of photocopying machines and servicing of machines that are necessary for a school to kickstart.
Loyiso Mbinda is the Eastern Cape Secretary, National Professional Teachers Organization of South Africa member. Thank you very much for those details coming out of the Eastern Cape in terms of the state of readiness ahead of schools opening this week.